Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, November 16th, 2018. Welcome to another eBay video. If you're wondering why I'm filming this inside, can anybody out there take a guess? It is cloudy, cold, snowing, and it's going to turn to rain. Once again, we've had another straight week of cloudy, rainy days, with the exception of Sunday, which was a beautiful sunny day but cold. I put out a video on Sunday about helping a misplaced tractor-trailer driver who wound up on the Harlem River Drive, so I hope you guys managed to see that and check it out. Okay, stop the video. I want you guys to see this because you're probably not going to believe it. Remember, this is the middle of November. We're going to go outside. I want you to see this, all right? Because you wouldn't believe it. We're going out now. I know the camera's going to shake a little, but that's too bad. I can't do anything about that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Snow in the middle of freaking November. You gotta love the freaking Northeast. It's disgusting. Look at this mess. I'm gonna spin the camera around. I want you to see the other way. Yep. Yep. The weather we have here is either rain, snow, or just cloudy. That is it. The middle of November. This is going to cause problems. The leaves are still on the trees, and it's going to cause the limbs to come down, and they're going to knock down the power lines, and we're going to be screwed again, just like we were about 5 or 6 years ago. Remember that fiasco? Unbelievable. You know, maybe I should go out to California. Back to the video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about eBay automatically accepting SNAD cases that we receive without any discussion whatsoever. That's the main topic. We're also going to be discussing a new handy-dandy custom edit feature that eBay has introduced that is very helpful and I think you guys will love. And of course, we're going to discuss your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. So that being said, let's get started with your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. Snowfeet M said, "Making improvements scares the crap out of me. Every time they make improvements, they screw up eBay sales and they plummet to the ground floor. I hope this new guy knows what he's doing." Verona said, "About chargebacks, PayPal told me that the time and manpower and hours they have to invest in a case is more expensive than paying these chargebacks to these scammers. They are aware that they are scammers. This will stop once eBay payments kicks in. I did suspect that the reason why PayPal would not pursue these scammers is because the time and the money involved in pursuing each one would be proactive. But still, I really would like to see them clamp down on this kind of thing." John Eastock wrote, "Joe, we like it when you shoot your mouth off. Keep it up. Had one buyer who paid for an item, then demanded his shipping charge back and told me to use his FedEx account number. Then further demanded I ship to an address in Colorado when he listed his address in California. Finally canceled the sale and returned his money." Like I said in last week's video, guys, buyers have no right to change terms and conditions once the sale has been consummated. They cannot ask you to lower the shipping charge, eliminate the shipping charge, and certainly not use their FedEx account. St. Paul MN Seller wrote, "Joe, just today all my eBay pages like Seller Hub, Soul Page, etc. all have the eBay name in just red letters, not the normal multicolored eBay colors. Have they changed their color for the logo, or is this another glitch? I've noticed that myself, St. Paul MN Seller. I think it's something they're trying out. They haven't made a formal announcement. I actually asked them about it and heard nothing back. Charles Decker wrote in, "This fluff about Harry Temkin means nothing to me. The people at eBay need to be more worried about fixing glitches and making a functional platform that we can actually use to move product, rather than introducing new bells and whistles to make the platform easier to use and shoving this free return nonsense down everyone's throat. I don't need a piece of software to tell me what price I should be listing my prices at, or what price the rest of the internet has them listed for, or any of that nonsense. I know what my items are worth. I know what prices to list them at. I know what return policies work for me and which ones don't. Just let me do what I need to do and stop trying to micromanage every aspect and try to conform me into your cookie cutter business model." That's a good point. I'm going to touch more on that when I talk about eBay now automatically accepting our returns. So just hang on for a minute. Philly Flash 43 wrote, "Why does eBay burn through so many seller experience execs so quickly?" You know, I've been wondering about that myself. 5797029 Mike wrote, "The weather you are experiencing is one of the reasons we moved from New England to Florida. Today was mostly sunny in the upper 80s again." In Kathy's own video a couple of days ago, she talked about sellers gaining access to watches by making offers directly to them. This would be a tool we could use to target a specific buyer with a better chance of a sale. There are some pros and cons involved here. Any thoughts on this, Mike? Mike, that is a gradual rollout. Not all sellers have that ability yet to make those offers. That's something you would notice on some of your items where you have watches. I myself do not have that ability yet, and I'm not so sure how good that actually would be. But there are some people, of course, that think it's very good, and that's just fine. Stephen Bond wrote, "I now have a Fitchy best offer person. I have an $85 item with best offer. He offered me $20. I declined, of course, thinking just another lowballer. He comes back that night with a $25 offer. I decline again, and this time I throw in a note saying I would not accept an offer of even 50% off and throw out a number at random. A day or so later he declines. Then he submits an offer of $30. I decline again with a note saying, if I told you I wouldn't accept an offer of 50% off, why would he make an offer at 65% off? Thursday he offered me $35. I'm not even going to bother to decline. I'll let it run its course. Is this person unable to understand simple English? Did he flunk out of the 4th grade math? Does he think he'll wear me down to get rid of him? Is he delusional?" Before I comment on his comment, I'm going to take a drink, my first drink of several today, from the Fox News Cup O' Life. Now I want to address Stephen Bond's comment about those lowball offers. Lowball offers like that one don't really bother me, but Jesus Christ, this week I got at least 6 different people say, "What is the lowest amount you will take for this item?" Or, "How low will you go on this item?" There is nothing that turns me off more than a person like that. Those are people I will not deal with in any way. If I encountered a buyer like Stephen Bond had that offered me, let's say, $20 on a $100 item, I mean, we probably won't get together, but at least there's a chance. The guy is putting it out there. I'm willing to give you $20 for this $100 item, okay? I would definitely write back to him and say, there's no way I can go that low. I paid more than that for the item. When a person says, how low will you go? What is the lowest you will go? In my opinion, that shuts the door to any negotiations, because that's a person that will never buy your item. They're unrealistic and they're just basically killing time. I don't mind when people throw out a lowball offer to me, because at least they're drawing a line and they're saying, here's what I'm willing to spend. What can you do for me? Maybe we can get together, maybe not. But I despise when they say, what is the lowest you will go? Or how low will you go? I just say, try and get it locally. You might save on shipping. Thank you. And usually that ends the problem right there. The last comment I'm going to read is from Ali Esom. This week I sold an empty collectible bottle. After negotiating the price back and forth, we settled for $56. After she paid, a few minutes later, she contacts me saying she didn't realize it was empty, which is stated in the title and description. She wanted to cancel. Did I mention she's also a seller? I guess she didn't see the title or pictures. Also, this week was my birthday, and I was so excited to receive a package in my post office box, thinking it was a present from family members. When I got home and opened the box, it was a surprise eBay return. Customer never contacted me for returning, just went ahead and shipped it back. I don't get many returns. This is the first return this year. Handwritten letters saying word for word, to whom it may concern. This is not what I ordered. I thought it was the bowls that would have rum chata in them. Please refund, thank you. She ordered the small shooter bowls, shot glasses, and expected liquor to be in them. Most of my listings say no liquor, no alcohol, and they still don't see it. Okay, I've had that happen too. People who take it upon themselves to circumvent eBay returns and go ahead and just return it many months later. What are you planning on doing about that, Ali Esom? In this week's video, I'd like you to comment what your plans are. When people go ahead and do that after the eBay returns period, I ignore them. It doesn't happen all that much, but I ignore them. I like eBay's return flow. It's very, very easy to use and very forthright. When eBay buyers use it, it's a seamless, trouble-free procedure. Now, last week I told you I had 2 returns that I consider legit returns. They were people that bought an item, bought the wrong size, admit they bought the wrong size, and are willing to pay the shipping back. They both opened legitimate eBay returns through the eBay returns flow. When you do that, eBay tells you to upload the tracking number by a certain date. I think it's a week. If that period comes and goes, you can call eBay and have them close the return in your favor. Now, as I said, I had 2 people open legit returns last week. As of today, Friday, neither one has uploaded the tracking number. Unbelievable. I see problems on the horizon with that, and I'll explain why. I fully intend to call eBay tomorrow and get both returns closed out in my favor. But what happens next week if the buyer decides to send the item back then? What do you guys do when eBay closes out a return in your favor and the buyer then sends the item back after that period? Comments in the comment section below, please. I have another story I want to tell you. This is a very, very important and busy news week on eBay, I'm telling you. Some weeks are slow and some weeks are busy. This is a very busy one. Before I get into the main topic, I want to tell you about a story that broke on the Facebook groups the other day. A buyer wrote a story, and I want to get your opinion on this because this raised a lot of controversy in one of the Facebook groups. So here's what happened. A buyer was interested in purchasing a pair of tickets to an upcoming football game. The buyer found a seller who was selling them. And keep in mind, they're time sensitive because the football game's coming up. I don't know if it was that weekend or the next weekend. So let's say the price for the 2 tickets was $100. The buyer offered the seller $75, let's say. Okay? A few minutes later, the buyer's wife says to him, listen, I'm not going to that football game with you. I have other things I want to do. So the buyer decides he wants to cancel. He logs on to eBay. However, The seller has already accepted his offer of $75. The buyer writes to the seller and says, listen, could you cancel this? My wife can't go to the game with me, so I don't want to buy these tickets. The seller wrote back and said, hell to the no. I'm not canceling it. You made a binding contract by making me an offer. I accepted the offer. These are time-sensitive tickets. I don't want to have to go through the trouble of relisting them because I may not sell them within the time period before the game. The seller then cursed the crap out of the buyer. The buyer then called eBay and reported the seller as a bad seller because he cursed the crap out of the buyer. Now, here are my questions to you. Please dissect this case and tell me what you think about it. Do you think the buyer was being a dick because he wanted to cancel the sale after his offer was already made? Do you think the seller should have canceled it? And I'm sure you agree with me that the seller was out of line for cursing out the buyer. What would you have done? What would you have done if you were in their place? People ranged in sentiments on the Facebook groups. Some said the buyer was being a dick because he canceled. Almost everybody agreed that the seller was wrong for cursing out the buyer. I'm just curious into what you think about that. You know, I have never, in my almost 20 years on eBay, ever canceled an item that I purchased. I wouldn't do that to a seller. If I made a mistake and bought something, I would just relist it, all right? In the case of these tickets, because they are time sensitive, I would be damn sure I had somebody wanting to go with me before I bought them, all right? And if I did buy them, like this person did, I would not have canceled, all right? I don't think that was right. But in this case, I think both people were wrong. But anyway, I want your opinion. And now, before we get on to the main topic, which is a big one, I'm going to take drink number 2 from the Fox News Cup O' Life. This is the Fox News Cup O' Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Before we get started with the main topic of today, I almost forgot. I want to do a cutaway. eBay has come up with a great time-saving tool that will help all of you sellers edit your listings right from Seller Hub. You will no longer have to go to the listing to change the quantity, the price, or whatever. It's a great time-saving tool. I'm going to do a quick cutaway now and show you how to access it and how it works. Okay guys, let me show you a new, easy, and quick way to edit your items right from Seller Hub, specifically the prices and the quantity. What you do is just go into your Seller Hub and click on All Listing, and you'll get a screen that looks something like this. Now what you can now do is you can edit the price right from the Seller Hub right here. So let's take this item in particular. I have it listed at $25. Now let's say I wanted to change the price to $22. I would just click on the pencil, type in $22 right there, and submit. There, bang, now it's $22. Now also, available quantity, 1. I could also change that if I wanted to 2. Now I don't have 2 of them, but for this moment I'm going to show you how to do it. You would just click on that, hit submit, and now I've got 2. Now of course I want to change it back to 1 because I only have 1 of those. And you'll see it magically changes back to 1. Now this only works for items like this that are not on sale. With this particular item here, you'll notice when I mouse over it, there is no pencil icon like there is here. That's because I have the item on sale. However, I could change the quantity if I wanted to, if I had 2 of these to sell, which I do not. But I just figured I would show you this quick little tool eBay has devised. I think it's great. You can also add a custom label right from this field right here if you're so inclined to do so. let us now get back to the video. So yeah, I think you guys will agree eBay did a good job on that time-saving tool. That is most useful and very handy in my opinion. What I'd like to talk about now is something that you guys are not going to like. And this is a good example of why people watch my videos. Because although I'm a big eBay fan, I call it like I see it. I don't sugarcoat anything, and I never will. You guys will always get straight talk on my channel, and I think you know that. I want to talk about returns and a new eBay policy that's been instituted. eBay has an easy return policy. That being, and I'm enrolled in this, and many of you guys are too, if a person gets an item and shows buyer remorse, like they bought the wrong size, it doesn't fit, and they select that item, they pay the shipping back to you, eBay automatically accepts the return for you, and everything works out great. I've been enrolled in this program for many months, and I love it. It works great. But what happens when you sell somebody something and they claim a SNAD case? Significantly not as described. In the past, eBay would contact you and tell you that your buyer has opened a case and give you a choice of several options to choose from to handle a case. Either accept the return, in which case you would pay the shipping. I think the second choice was communicate with the buyer. A third choice was refund the buyer right now and let them keep the item. But you had a line of communication between you and your buyer who was claiming a SNAD case. Often, the buyer would trip themselves up and say something like, I want to return this item because I purchased the wrong size. And when eBay saw that, if you call them, they would find in your favor. And it worked out great. So I was chagrined the other day when a SNAD case was opened against me and was automatically accepted by eBay. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. A person bought something from me, got the item, and claims that it's more scratched than they thought it was in the pictures. So they're claiming SNAD, saying pictures don't match the item that was sent. Now, a SNAD case should never be automatically approved. So it happened at night, like around 8 o'clock at night. I said, oh, I'll call the next day. So I called the next day, and I called the eBay concierge, and the representative had no idea how this happened. He said, Joe, I honestly don't know. I'm going to kick this up to one of the senior representatives who handles returns, and I'm going to connect you with her. And he did that. So she got on the phone, she looked at the case and said, okay, Joe, here's the deal. eBay is starting a new policy, whereas all SNAD returns will be automatically accepted and you will have to pay shipping. There will be no more communication between the buyer and the seller on SNAD cases. I'm not kidding. And if the buyer somehow trips himself up and says, listen, I bought the wrong size, and claims it's a SNAD case, too bad. eBay's not getting involved. They said they want no part of getting involved anymore. This is a change they're making to be, to use their words, more in line with other selling venues. I want to impress upon you how important this is. All right, now listen to me. Listen to me. If I was to sell on eBay this Fox News cup, all right? Fox News cup used as is, all right? I sell it for $50. It's just the Fox News cup that has appeared on many crazy New York driver videos, all right? The buyer gets it and opens a SNAD case and says, oh, I really wanted it in red. Now, obviously, that's a case of buyer remorse and stupidity, right? I didn't do anything wrong. Guess who's paying the shipping back? I am. Me. There's going to be no talking, there's going to be no discussion, there's going to be no questions asked. A SNAD case has been opened and the seller is going to pay the return shipping back. Now if it's a small piece like the Fox News cup, it's not going to cost much. But when it's a big box of hubs going out to California, it is. This opens the door to a lot of potential problems, in my opinion. Now, I've always been very lucky. Although I get more returns than most of you guys, I don't get very many SNAD returns. But how many SNAD returns does it take for you, the seller, to start feeling it in your pocketbook? For instance, if I sell a set of hubs out to California, that's going to cost me probably $30 to $40 to ship them out there. So let's say it's $100 for the item, $40 shipping, $140. The buyer gets the item and pulls a false SNAD claim. Now I have to pay another $40 to get him shipped back to me. I just spent $80 in shipping for something I did not do wrong. Are you guys following me on this? This is serious, guys, all right? Now, when I spoke to the eBay representative on the phone the other day, I said, let me tell you something. This is horrible for sellers. I said, but you know what's even worse? I said, the fact that eBay did not come out and state this publicly that they were going to start this. And the seller representative agreed with me. She goes, Joe, I totally agree with you. In my opinion, eBay dropped the ball, and we should have at least notified the sellers that we were going to start doing this, which they haven't. So the other day, I went onto Facebook and I posted my whole experience in one of the Facebook groups. And I got a ton of responses. Most people stated that they also didn't know about this. Several people said that they had just experienced the same thing I did, where an item was returned to them automatically as a SNAD claim, but they thought it was a glitch or a fluke. And they said they had no idea this new policy was in place. One of the admins posted and she said, this is nothing new. eBay has had this policy for a while, but I dispute that. All right? They have had the policy where automatic returns would be approved if the buyer was paying return shipping back. Yes, I've been enrolled in that. But not if the seller has to pay return shipping, all right? I honestly have never heard of this before this happened to me. So I made the post and the sellers all agree with me. They haven't heard about it either. So guys, we got a situation here. I don't want any of you to sit back and remain silent. I want to hear what you got to say. This is your chance to be heard. All right? Here's what I want to know specifically. Number one, have any of you fellow sellers had a SNAD case automatically accepted for you by eBay recently? If so, please tell me the details. Like the buyer bought an item and said they didn't like it because whatever, and they were sending it back. I want to know if it was your fault or not. All right? Second question. Have you guys been informed by eBay in any way that this policy was to start taking place? Because I never heard of it before. And it seems as though most other sellers haven't as well. I want to know that. I also want to know what your opinion is on it. Do you think it's going to lead to more false SNAD claims? Do you think it's going to bring fitchy buyers out of the woodwork? Do you think that more fitchy buyers are going to claim SNAD cases now? This is all stuff I want to know about. Please comment this in the comment section below. All right, guys, I've gone overtime today, as I figured I would, because I had so much to tell you. Quick rehash and I'm out of here. Guys, remember some important factors first. Number one, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Okay? Thank you for watching my video. I put these things up every Friday night to try and help you guys sell on eBay and stay on top of all eBay news and changes. If you think I'm doing a good job, please give me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm appreciated. If you don't think I did a good job today, tell me what you want me to talk about next week and I'll do my best to do so. Remember guys, I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind, and I'm still making money online. That being said, please, we are very interested in hearing your comments from the information I presented tonight, specifically about eBay automatically accepting all SNAD cases and us, the sellers, having to pay return shipping. Also, you may comment on any eBay topic you want, bar none. Your comments are always welcome. Your comments actually fuel the fire for the following week's Crazy New York Driver Show. I will now take yet another drink from the Fox News Cup of Life. Again, this is the Fox News Cup of Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Okay, guys, like I said last week, 2 things you can take to the bank. Number 1, I'll be out here next Friday with another Crazy New York Driver video. And number 2, it's going to be cloudy, raining, and snowing. It's been awful this week. Absolutely awful. Thanks for watching, guys. Go out there, you make some sales on eBay. I hope you all do great this week. Rock on and peace! Yeah! I love it!